Hey, what's up guys, how you doing? I've just come back from a trip to Ashford just to get a few bits for the bike. I hope you enjoyed the last video of me riding around the Kent countryside in the fields and all that. That was a lot of fun. What I wanted to show you in this clip, what I promised before, was my own personal opinion of this bike. So what I think the pros and cons are, what can be improved, what I think is perfect. There's not many things to dislike about this bike, to be honest. So like I said, the previous video was just like official stats, so fuel range, seat height, you know, all the stuff that comes with it, the fog lights and the bash plate and all that sort of stuff. So I'll go around it now, tell you what I like, what to look out for if you're going to buy one, you know, and what to expect when you do finally get one. So let's start at the beginning. We'll start right at the front. The headlight. Now, one thing I noticed about this, especially when you have a lot of gear on the back, like the last trip I did, I had two large 40 litre dry bags filled up with camping gear and stuff. These tend to shine right into the eyes of car drivers, even with it dipped down and the rear suspension tightened right up. So I don't know whether it's because I'm quite heavy. I mean, I weigh about 17 stone, I'm 6'3", so it will push the back down a bit obviously, but I mean, I'm going to see if I can bend that bolt down a little bit, so watch out for that. If you are my sort of height and weight, that can be an issue. Now again, the height that I am, 6'2", 6'3", thereabouts, this is the tallest shield, but what I've found is, especially when you're wearing an Arai X4 helmet, the buffeting can get quite bad. Even with a normal helmet, which I'm wearing today, I'm wearing my normal Arai today. But even with that, it does get quite bad. So I think if you're my sort of height, 6'2", 6'3", get a screen that's probably, I don't know, I could do with another 5 inches on this, I think, and that should do the trick. But it's not too bad, it's not unbearable, but motorway speeds, it does get a little bit tiring. Okay, let's head down. Okay, engine is perfect. I mean, it's 135 brake horsepower, I think, which is enough. You know, you don't need any more than that really. My last bike had 200 brake horsepower, and as fun as it was, a lot of it was unusable, so it's kind of pointless in a way. But this is usable. It's got power all the way through the rev range, it's nice and smooth, it's got a nice sweet spot at 4,000 revs, lovely and smooth. You can put the cruise control on and just go for it. I'll speak to you about that cruise control in a sec actually. So yeah, the engines are fantastic, nice noise to it, not too obnoxious, you know, through the standard exhaust anyway. Yeah, so that's a blinding engine, inline triple, plenty of torque for the rev range. I've never redlined it, to be honest. There's not much need, even when coming off a hard shoulder and joining the fast traffic. So nothing needs improving on there, I don't think. Let's go to the back. Okay, the exhaust, it's not the best looking one in the world, but it's this is quite dirty actually, but yeah, it does the trick. It's not too loud. It's you know, I don't like it when they're too loud. I just find them so, especially if you're doing a lot of motorway miles, you've got that constant drone of the noise. I'm not really into that, so that's fine as it is, but by all means change it if you want a bit more character out of the engine and a bit more free flowing, get a bit more power maybe. The rear shock, you can probably see there I've put like a sock thing around it, like a velcro thing. Now I've been told by guys on the Triumph forum that this will void your warranty, because the rear shock can heat up so much, if it doesn't get air to cool it down, it can fail. Now I've had bikes that have had rear shocks exposed before, and I've never ever known them to get hot, even when they've been like under hard use. So I think for the sake of keeping it clean and rust free, I'm just going to leave it on there, because I haven't had any issues with it, so I think I'll keep it as it is. The adjuster is fine. It works perfectly well. I've had it onto the hardest setting before when I've got all the luggage on it. That works really well. The under seat storage, really good. I've got a full toolkit under there, a puncture repair kit with a what's it called, compressor that you can run from the 12-volt socket, so that's good. Pillion grab rails, very good, large, long enough to get your hands through. I put a power bronze hugger on this because a lot of this crap coming off the back wheels, flicking on here, all over the rear shock, all over the shaft drive. So I definitely recommend getting a hugger. It doesn't come with one, but I definitely recommend getting one. Shaft drive is excellent. There's no sort of inertia in it like with the old BMWs where you rev it and the whole bike kind of goes to one side. So yeah, they've done a great job on there. So let's go through. Let's go up to the top. Now, one of the negative points is the cruise control button. Now I've found, because when you're riding like that, if you want to activate the cruise control, you kind of, it's a bit of a stretch, and I've got quite big hands, so even then you still kind of have to come off the accelerator to activate it. So what I do and what I recommend is keeping it armed all the time, so that way if you want to hit cruise control, you can just go straight to the reserve switch. That doesn't have to be pressed in, you can leave it in all the time. So that's a little tip for you there. Let's see, handguards work really well. I've never used them in, you know, I've gone off-road before, but never in a situation where there's stuff bashing against it, but to keep the cold off, they're spot on. And the heated grips, I've got these things called grip puppies on them there, just to give the grips a bit more meat to them, because I'm used to quite fatter grips, and I found the original ones were quite thin and they was hurting my hands, so I put the grip puppies on. The heated grips work really well. Take a while to get through this extra padding, but 10 minutes in, you got warm hands. So let's see, there's not many negatives. I really can't pick them out. I mean, I'm being picky as it is. I mean, it's a big bike, it is heavy, but what I've noticed is the handling. This is coming from, I've had like sports bikes before, but I must say the handling on this bike is one of the best I've ever had. It just feels so light and flicky. You can just throw it around all over the place. And that's another thing I forgot to mention. There's a lot of issues with a really light throttle control. Now, if you're used to a bike that's got a sort of medium one, you'll find that this one really is quite light, and even though I'm used to it now, it's caught me off a few times. Like for example, if you're going over a bump and you're kind of pulling on the bars and it goes like that, you're going to surge forward, and that can be quite disconcerting. So yeah, so if you're going to get this bike, watch out for that, because the throttle, the spring is really light, so there's not much tension in it. I'm used to it now and it's fine, I can live with it, but watch out for that. That's quite an issue. But other than that, it's a perfect bike. If you're tall, it's perfect. You can actually put your feet up on these crash bars which came with the bike. You can put your legs up on there. What I tend to do, if there's not a lot of traffic about on the motorway, hit the cruise control, legs up on the bars, let your throttle hand rest a little bit, and you can just go up the road in leisure. Suspension is great, got loads of travel, upside down forks. Yeah, perfect. I've never come to a situation where this bike didn't handle too well. It handles the off-road really well, feels really light, lighter than what it actually is, without a doubt. Centre stand, really handy for doing maintenance. Nice heel plate here to protect the rear brake reservoir. So yeah, and it's kind of easy to clean, because one of the good things about this bike compared to say the BMWs and the Ducatis is all the wiring is done internally. So I mean, you can see one there from the brake line, but everything's everything's sort of inside and tucked away, so there's nothing to catch, there's nothing hanging loose, so it's easy to clean. It looks nice and neat and compact. They've really, you know, I'm not surprised they kind of stole BMW's crown with the Adventure Tourer bike with this bike, because they just really thought it through. They've taken all the negatives from the other adventure bikes, like the top heavy weight, the kind of the weak engines, and they've put a meaty engine in here, tidied everything up. It's perfect. I mean, for touring, all I'd recommend is, or all I would like, is a slightly taller screen, an easier reach to the cruise control button, which is sorted just by leaving it in anyway, so that's not really an issue. And yeah, so other than that, I can't really fault it. I've got a GoPro mount on the front there, stuck on, so there's loads of places to put things. Like if you want to put, you've got like a 12-volt socket there, so to plug in, that's for my GPS, which goes there. Got the GPS mount, you can put that anywhere, you can put it on there if you want. So yeah, it's a really practical machine. So yeah, I think that's about it. So if you're thinking about getting one, take it for a test ride, but like I say, watch out for that light throttle, because it really does catch you out sometimes. Even now, I've had it for, you know, 10,000 miles worth of riding. If you're going over a bump and you touch it, you're going to surge forward, so you got to watch out for that. Yeah, but I recommend it. You know, it makes a change. I mean, the thing with the adventure bike market is there's loads on the road. I mean, I saw 2 of these today just going to Ashford. So, but you see less of these than the BMWs, which I quite like. I like to, even though there's loads of these out on the road and they're really popular, they're not as popular as the BMWs. And I've owned one of the BMWs, and I have to say it was nowhere near as good as this. It was the previous model, but it just doesn't have the character and the sound of this, and it doesn't look as good. I mean, that's one of the things about this bike, it absolutely looks the business. So yeah, there you go. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. There's been more vids up in the future. Again, I've got a Twitter page where I post stuff that's coming up in the future. I post it on there, so have a look for Billy Four Rocks on Twitter, and I'll keep you posted. Alright, take it easy, guys. See you later.